With the largest franchise in all of gaming, beating out the second place contender by over 200 million, this icon has saved, built up, and revolutionized gaming in nearly every conceivable way. With a combined 528 million sales, we look at the portion of 310 million. This is the Super Mario franchise.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good one.
Welcome to Press Start to Join, a proud member of the Alberta Podcast Network, powered by ATB. This is episode 176. I'm Josh.
And I'm Alan. No one character has been as influential or synonymous with gaming as Mario.
That's pretty good for a tradesman.
Let's talk about the career of the mustachioed hero himself, Super Mario.
To explain the intro a little bit, the Super Mario series makes over 310 million units sold. Well, the remainder is made up of Mario Kart, Mario Party, Mario Sports, Mario RPG, and any other Mario game.
Okay, so not like Mario platformers, but just everything that Mario is in, which is a lot.
That's the everything that's not 310.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah. So, the conception of Mario himself, because a lot of people are unfamiliar with this, and I learned a little bit extra myself.
Cool.
Shigeru Miyamoto wanted to make a game featuring the Popeye characters. And at the time, he was unable to secure a license, so he made his own analog for these characters. Bluto steals away olive oil from the hero Popeye, so he made a large, tough character, Donkey Kong, to be the antagonist. Unnamed in the original Japanese release, the English instruction manual called the player character Jumpman, but in the sales brochure, he was referred to as Mario. According to a widely circulated story, during the localization of Donkey Kong for American audiences, Nintendo of America's warehouse landlord, Mario Segal, confronted then-President Minoru Arakawa demanding back rent. Following a heated argument in which the Nintendo employees eventually convinced Segal he would be paid, they opted to name the character in the game Mario after him.
Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I see like the parallels between Popeye and Mario, and
especially the original.
And,
yeah.
Well, even today, like Bowser is the new Bluto, and then Peach is still getting kidnapped, and
Kind of.
It's interesting.
So Miyamoto planned to have this new character he made to be used in each game he developed, and at the time he was going to name him Mr. Video. Miyamoto did comment on this, saying that if he did call him Mr. Video, he would have disappeared off the face of the earth. And contrary to popular belief, Mario is not just a plumber, he's a jack of all trades, and he's just whatever the situation calls for.
Well, clearly, I mean, he's a professional any game they decide to put him in.
Yep, exactly. In Donkey Kong, he's a carpenter. He's also a physician, Dr. Mario. He's an archaeologist in Mario Picross. He's the president of a toy manufacturing company, Mario vs. Donkey Kong 2, March of the Rabbids, and an accomplished athlete, as you said, the sports games.
Not to mention Mario Paint. He's an artist.
Yeah. And with Mario returning to gaming and Mario Bros., the environment is underground, and that's when they decided Mario was a plumber.
Oh, okay. And I guess to explain the overalls.
Mario's character design was with a large nose, which draws on the Western influences once he became a plumber. And Miyamoto decided to put him in New York and make him Italian, lightheartedly attributing Mario's nationality to his mustache. So that's why he's Italian, because of the mustache.
Okay.
Other sources have Mario's profession chosen to be a carpenter in an effort to depict the character as an ordinary hard worker to make it easier for players to identify with him. So he's just a hard-working dude.
Yeah, he's like Joe Everyman, and that's why he picks up a hammer and does things.
Yeah. Due to graphical limitations of the hardware at the time, Miyamoto dressed Mario in red overalls and a blue shirt to contrast each other from the background. The red cap was added to let Miyamoto avoid drawing the character's hairstyle, forehead, and eyebrows. Nice. and was used to avoid the issue of animating his hair as he jumped. To make him appear human on screen despite his small size, Mario was given distinct features, the large nose and mustache, which avoided the need to draw a mouth and facial expression on such a small character.
Pretty sneaky.
Yeah. Over time, Mario's appearance has been more defined. Blue eyes, white gloves, brown shoes, a red M in a white circle on the front of his hat, gold buttons on his overalls have been added to. The colors of his shirt and overalls were also reversed from a blue shirt with red overalls to a red shirt with blue overalls. Miyamoto attributed this process to the different development teams and artists of each game, as well as advances in technology. And
also it just kind of makes a little more sense. Like, jeans overalls makes more sense than like a jean shirt and I guess red denim overalls. Like, what?
Oh man, red denim would be nice.
Fair enough. Maybe I should eat my words and we should go back to that way.
If I could find one. Nintendo didn't initially reveal Mario's full name. In a 1989 interview, he was stated to not be Mario, despite the implication of the Mario Bros. Title. First notable use of Mario was the 1993 live-action film adaptation.
I was just thinking that. Mario and Luigi Mario.
This was, again, used in two of Prima's official strategy guides in 2000, Mario Party 2, and 2003, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. In 2012, after Charles Martinet voiced Mario, declaring himself Mario, and then at a San Diego Comic-Con the next month, Satoru Iwata said he had no last name.
Oh.
Then Shigeru Miyamoto agreed with him a month later. 2 months after Iwata's death in 2015, Miyamoto changed his stance on September 2015 at the Mario Bros. 30th Anniversary Festival, saying, yeah, his name is Mario.
Oh, so there was some contention there.
Yeah, he had to... Yeah, Iwata has a lot of credit, but I can't get into it with this episode. There's so much.
Oh, yeah, Iwata's done a ton, as well as suppressing Mario's last name.
So yeah, as I covered briefly, Mario's first appearance is in 1981 as a carpenter called Jumpman in Donkey Kong. There he has the ability to climb ladders and jump over barrels, and he also has a hammer power-up which can break barrels, and he returns in Donkey Kong Jr. in 1982, the only game where Mario is the antagonist.
Oh yeah, I guess he is. Never thought of that.
He's definitely whipping Donkey Kong Jr.'s dad.
Yeah, wow.
Mario Bros. For Arcade in 1983 is when he makes an appearance with his younger brother Luigi. The pair are portrayed as Italian-American plumbers, which have to defeat creatures in the sewers of New York City. Mario is able to run around with space-time bending wraparound edges on the edge of the screen, and must incapacitate monsters before he can defeat them. So in this, you had to hit the ground beneath the enemy to knock them upside down, then he could run up and kick them off the screen.
Yeah, you might remember this from Super Mario 3 in the Versus mode.
Mm-hmm. If he hits the ground beneath an enemy that's already upside down, they flip back up, and if they're left for too long, they also flip up and become enraged if they get back up.
Mm-hmm. Then they get fast.
Yeah, there's also a POW block in the center of the bottom floor that acts as if he bumped all the enemies on screen at once. The ultimate POW block. In 1985, wow, this is so long ago, the adventure begins with Super Mario Bros. For the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Ooh.
And it's the now classic Mario in an adventure to save Princess Toadstool, she's later Princess Peach, from King Koopa. Mario can run, and the screen scrolls to the right, but it does not scroll back, and he can jump on enemies' heads to defeat them now. He can collect a mushroom to become Super Mario, collect a flower to throw fireballs, and a star to become temporarily invincible. There's also coins all over the place, yeah. And collecting 100 grants you an extra man, and these mechanics basically remain throughout the whole franchise.
Yeah, those basics are right up until Odyssey.
Yeah. In 1986, the sequel came out in Japan as Super Mario Bros. 2. And later, we get to see it in in 1993 in North America, when it's called The Lost Levels.
Mm-hmm.
We'll touch on that briefly later. It was not initially released in North America due to its steep increase in difficulty.
Yeah, it's freaking hard.
There was no two-player option, but Luigi was a selectable character. And this is where the brothers' differences became more than just a color palette, because it's when Luigi has reduced friction and an increased jump height.
Mm-hmm.
And
Fast
it also
and loose.
Yeah, it also introduced the poison mushroom that could come out of blocks, and it's remembered for being the most difficult Mario game. And,
yeah, I agree with that.
And also the one of the least important to the franchise. 1988, the North American release of a game called Super Mario Bros. 2. It's a departure from the series already.
No kidding.
In both theme and gameplay. Because it's a modified version of Yume Kojo Doki Doki Panic. And after its success in North America, they did release it in Japan in 1992 as Super Mario USA. The game has Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Toad as playable characters. The characteristics in this game for them sort of make the baseline for the rest of the series for them.
That's true.
In this game, jumping on enemies doesn't kill them. You have to sort of ride on their head and pick them up and throw them either at an enemy or throw them away. You can also hit them with a radish if you found one in the ground. The game left some fans upset with the ending where, spoiler, it was all a dream Mario was having.
Yeah, which, I mean, kind of makes sense for how drastically different it is from literally every other Mario game.
Absolutely. Late 88 in Japan and early 1990 in North America, Super Mario Bros. 3 arrived. It's known for being the foundation of all future Mario games.
It's a good one.
Some critics claim it's one of the greatest games of all time. On the cover of the box, he has a raccoon powers, which he gets from the new Super Leaf item in the game. And there was also a more rare Tanuki suit, where he has the same abilities of a Super Leaf, but he also can turn into a statue to avoid enemies.
Yeah, that was such a weird one, because I figured out how to turn into a statue, but I didn't know what that statue was for. And I was too paranoid to let an enemy walk past me. I'm like, oh no, he's going to hit me.
It's a cultural reference, yeah.
Yeah, you go into the background and they can't touch you while you're a statue.
They also have the frog suit in this, where you can hop on land and swim very well.
That's a good one.
There's a Hammer Bro costume, where you can throw hammers.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the first use of a world map and inventory, which you can access between levels. On the world map, when playing two-player, player 1 and 2 could play a challenge against each other, which was based on the original Mario Brothers game, as you said.
Yep.
In 1989, a launch title for the Game Boy, Super Mario Land, was released. It was meant to be the game released with the Game Boy to sell consoles, but actually, Tetris was bundled with the handheld by Nintendo of America.
Interesting.
Yeah. This was the first portable Mario game. Being it's the 89, it's like the first portable game thing.
Yeah.
And it did not have series creator Shigeru Miyamoto on development of this game. Critics were satisfied with how Mario played on the Game Boy. They criticized its short length, and reviews of the time, and like retrospectively, people praise its soundtrack still.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I gotta listen to it.
Cool.
The game also departed from the familiar Mushroom Kingdom for Sarasa Land, where Mario is on a quest to save Princess Daisy from an evil spaceman named Tantanga.
Oh.
It's considered short for having 12 levels across 4 worlds, and the console counterpart had 32 levels across 8 worlds. So that's the Mario 3, I believe. No.
Okay.
Yeah. So 2 of the levels mixed up gameplay, and it's actually a Gradius-style game, where it's a scrolling level and Mario is in a vehicle shooting.
Weird.
Levels had a regular exit at the bottom of the screen, and above it was a special exit. And the special exits lead to mini-games, and the player could win extra lives and power-ups.
Cool.
So, It featured a few differences from the main game, like Mario threw bouncing balls. They called it Super Balls in the manual. I'm pretty sure that's a copyright.
No kidding.
Instead of the fireballs. And turtle shells explode after you jump on them.
Jesus.
And they depicted 1-up mushrooms as hearts in this.
Weird.
1990, Nintendo dropped their next game with long-reaching consequences in gaming that they could have never predicted. With Super Mario World.
Oh, yeah.
Another critical commercial success that has to be on the list of best video games ever made. Miyamoto has said that Miyamoto has been said to be the main authority during development of this game. This is the first Mario game on the SNES hardware, and the tools actually weren't fully developed, and the team just had to go along with something new.
Oh, wow.
Knowing the SNES did not have the same restrictions of the NES, the team experimented by porting Super Mario Bros. 3 to the SNES with a more broad color palette and new sprites.
It looked fantastic.
But the team felt that it was still the same game, so they knew they needed something totally new. Since Super Mario Bros., Miyamoto said he wanted a dinosaur companion for Mario. But with the limited hardware of the NES, it wasn't possible. And there's been traces of Yoshi going back to 1984 in a game called Devil World, where Miyamoto designed a character called Green Dragon.
Oh.
And even during the development of Super Mario Bros. 3, Miyamoto had sketches of Mario riding a horse. And during development, the team was going to set the world in Dinosaur Land, so the game director had designer Shugefumi Hino make a reptile-like creature based on Miyamoto's sketches. And based on the first concepts, they were too reptilian, and it didn't fit into the Mario world. So the designer was encouraged to make a cuter design, and using the idea of country western themes, Miyamoto's love of riding horses, this makes the creation of Yoshi.
Neat.
This game added a lot to the Mario franchise. There's switches when you activate them, it reveals access to new areas and other levels. Some stages had secret exits requiring the player to find a key to take it to a hidden hole, and there was even the first post-game content with the special world.
Oh, it was so much fun.
It gave players an extra challenge if they wanted more Super Mario World after completing Star Road, and they've added special rewards for completing Special World, like the season changes from spring to fall, and several enemies have different sprites. When I said long-reaching consequences, we're going to jump ahead to 2007 briefly. Possibly the most famous ROM hack got a lot of attention. A developer named Takamoto made a Let's Play series featuring his friend, Kiba, and he called it Jisaku no Kaizu Mario o Yujin ni Puri Seru. In English, it means making my friend play through my Mario hack. And ultimately, it's known as Kaizo Mario.
And it's so fun to watch people play.
This game defies conventional game design, using invisible blocks to block jumps people need to make. It's basically made for frustration.
It is why Mario Maker exists. I'm like 90% sure. It's so good.
Yeah. The skill required to play this game appealed to speedrunners and people who make tool-assisted speedruns. And now, Let's Play videos and streams have received millions of views online. And now, Kaizo is referred to ROM hacking. The word literally translates to reorganize, restructure, or reconstruct. But
Makes sense.
But it's more prominently used by players to describe a high level of difficulty. Back to the Game Boy, 1992, Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins. This game meant a lot to me, as it was the most played Game Boy game I had before Pokemon.
Oh, wow.
This game has a strange motivation for Mario, because the game sees no damsel in distress, there's no Bowser, and there's no Bowser with some sort of celestial or interdimensional power. This game is about Mario trying to reclaim his castle from his evil doppelganger, Wario.
Oh.
Who took advantage of Mario being in Sarasa Land, and he annexed his castle Then Wario placed a magical seal on the entrance that can only be broken by 6 golden coins, which are protected by Wario's henchmen.
Cool.
Mario has some familiar abilities, slight visual differences given to the Game Boy. He has a flutter similar to the Tanuki, where he can jump high, and he's shown with a hat with bunny ears, and he gets that from collecting a magic carrot.
Cool.
His Fire Flower ability is shown with a hat similar to Robin Hood with a feather in it. And of course, there's the Starman, or Superstar, for limited invincibility. So this game is an interesting addition as it features an overworld map, which is open. The player can pick a level in any order. It's also the first portable Mario game to have a save feature. Like the first Mario Land, there's a challenge above the exit of the level, but in this game, Mario rings a bell and then he proceeds to the normal exit, and he can play his mini game and get extra lives or power-ups. There's 32 levels in several themed zones, and there's also some secret levels in which if you die or finish the level, you're sent to the beginning of the level you found the secret entrance in.
Weird.
Yeah, it's tough. If Mario ever loses all his lives, any and all of the collected golden coins are sent back to the bosses that had it.
Oh no.
But I believe the other levels remain completed, so you can just go right back to the boss.
Still, then it's a boss rush.
Yep. The game received mostly positive reviews, but it's always going to be one of my favorite Mario adventures. Because I really liked it. So a side note, for 1993, Super Mario All-Stars was released for the Super Nintendo. It was North America's first experience with the original Mario Bros. 2, and we called it the Lost Levels. And it also featured Super Mario Brothers, the original, 2 and 3 with enhanced graphics. It also gives the games a save feature, and they fix some bugs like the Minus World in the original Mario Bros. The Minus World is... You know Minus World?
I don't know Minus World. I was trying to think for a second.
So, you know how in the first Underground map you can ride the elevator over the screen and then get to the warp zone?
Yep.
So, if you don't ride the elevator and you stand on the regular exit pipe, you can crouch and jump towards the blocks, and you can squeeze in between them and then walk through the wall. And if you do, you can walk through so you're in the warp zone area, but you only see the one pipe and the letters haven't loaded. And if you hop in the pipe then, you go to level -1 and you play a water level forever.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, it's so weird. As Mario games seem to, 1996 has another contender for greatest game ever made with Super Mario 64.
Yeah, it was a pioneer. I'm not sure about greatest ever made, but definitely like a lot of games would not be what they were without it.
People make the argument for it. It also is given credit for making the N64 a success. And when Nintendo's competition was leaving the cartridge technology for compact discs, they ended up selling a ton of 64s because of this game. Nintendo brought Mario to the world of open 3D gaming. And it also set the standard for games in this new era. Mario's movement with long jumps, triple jumps, backflips, and wall triangle jumps are like the foundation for 3D Mario games from this point forward.
Very true.
He can also run, crawl, punch, and kick. And now you can discover hidden coins, cannons, power-ups, and stars in these huge 3D environments. And the overworld is open, although progression is guided by Mario collecting stars to unlock doors to get to the next level. And it's basically to prevent people from not fighting Bowser. That's why they did that.
Fair enough.
Even though the gameplay is revolutionary, the story is simple. Princess Peach invites Mario to the castle for cake, and he arrives to find Bowser's captured her, and that the doors are sealed with magical locks that require stars to unlock. It did encourage lots of exploring, and there's many secrets. It's kept gamers today jumping at suspicious walls or stained glass windows.
Yep.
I also find the battle with Bowser was really fun, where you sort of have to dodge him, then grab his tail and toss him into conveniently placed bombs outside of your arena.
Mm-hmm.
Many classic Mario power-ups are missing from this title, except for the Superstar. They've added the wing cap, which lets Mario fly, and the opposite, metal cap, which makes him extremely heavy, prevents most damage, and he's unaffected by wind and can sink in water. You can also ride Koopa shells, and he can sort of surf them over water, sand, or land.
Isn't there another cap where he can like go through chain link fences? Becomes like a collection of dots?
Yeah, that wasn't there. The invisible cap or something.
Or maybe that's just in the DS remake. No, I'm not sure myself.
Me neither, because it had a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So there was nearly a 2-player Mario 64 mode. They were going to make it split screen and allow Mario and Luigi to start at different points in the castle and work together throughout the same game.
Nice.
It was ultimately removed as the gameplay was not satisfactory to Nintendo standards.
That sucks.
But it's also spawned a legacy of speedrunning and mods, and there was almost a full fan remake in the Unity engine in 2015, but Nintendo hit them with a cease and desist.
I remember that. They got like the first area going and it looked gorgeous.
So, until the next big Mario title for the new Nintendo hardware, they released classic games. In 1999, they released Super Mario Bros. Deluxe. It was Super Mario Bros. For Game Boy Color. It had some graphical upgrades, 8 additional worlds based on the Japanese Super Mario Bros. 2, and also allowed players to select Mario or Luigi, just like the Lost levels, and simultaneous multiplayer, which sounds really cool, and a capability with the Game Boy printer, which I could not find what it was. Just said it was compatible.
The Game Boy printer was such a weird niche accessory that no one I know of ever had.
Oh yeah, like so weird. 2001, Super Mario Advance came out for the Game Boy Advance. It was an updated Mario's 2, featuring a robotic Birdo on one of the levels. And they also had a Yoshi challenge, where you could revisit levels to find hidden Yoshi eggs. It also included a graphical upgrade and updates to align text and themes to the modern Mario games. 2002, Super Mario Advance 2, Super Mario World, that's a long title. This is my first experience beating Super Mario World.
Oh, really?
I was doing this research and very disappointed to find out it's nearly identical to the original release, with the exception that they made it easier.
Oh, that sucks.
So I'm not going to say I beat Super Mario World 2 anymore.
Tisk.
So now, it's summer 2002. Time to roll up those sleeves, because it's Super Mario Sunshine.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Mario is on vacation. The bright and colorful Isle of Delfino. There's a villain that impersonates Mario, and he's been causing trouble, and later is identified as Bowser Jr. It also
Spoilers.
Oh, sorry. It's been 16 years. Sorry, I'm going to edit out that 2 minutes of me thinking with the numbers.
Math is hard.
It also features cutscene work for Mario and Peach, and they had a couple words in Mario 64, but for the first time, Bowser Jr. and Bowser himself have actual lines. The game has spectacular controls. It's all standards Mario had in Mario 64, but with the addition of a water gun backpack. FLUDD. The FLUDD. I didn't care to write the acronym down.
Yeah, it's some random acronym to justify the word flood.
Yep. So it adds lots of mobility to Mario with a hover ability, and there's lots of puzzle solving, and the novel is also used in just so many interesting ways.
Yeah.
Since Mario has the FLUDD pack, this game doesn't have any fire flowers. And it's and there's no Superstar either. And you'll find upgrades for FLUDD to solve more advanced puzzles and defeat new enemies. You'll also need these upgrades to access new areas in town, sort of like the stars you were unlocking doors in Mario 64. Sunshine sales surpassed its main competition of PlayStation 2's Grand Theft Auto 3 and Xbox's Halo within 10 days of its release.
Wow.
And remained to be the best-selling game for GameCube.
Yeah, it's still huge. Like, the speedrunning community is amazing. They still do it at Games Done Quick every year.
Damn. We'd like to thank ATB for being the sponsor of the Alberta Podcast Network, and they're making this all happen, and we really appreciate that.
Yeah, ATB actually has a really cool thing called ATB Cares. It's perhaps one of the coolest ideas ever. You can donate to your favorite charity on atbcares.com, and ATB will cover the fees plus add 15% to your donation. You know, in 2017, apparently over $4 million was donated to charity through ATB Cares.
Yeah, that's really awesome for them to do.
Yeah, it's a very cool initiative where it's just like, hey, donate, and we'll also donate a bunch of extra money for no reason other than caring, which is weird, but awesome.
Thanks, ATB.
Yeah.
After Sunshine in 2002, they had Super Mario Advanced 3, Yoshi's Island. They call it a direct port with few changes. It's mainly the aspect ratio was changed to suit the advanced screen, and the new Yoshi voice was put in, and a few bonus levels.
Fancy.
In 2003, Nintendo made the decision that in no particular order, they would make Super Mario Advanced 4 Super Mario Bros. 3. It's pretty much an update of the released Mario All-Stars, and they added the compatibility with the Nintendo e-reader that allows you to swipe cards to add powers that weren't found in Mario 3, like the cape from Super Mario World.
Oh, neat.
And in 2004, we saw many upgrades to the classic Super Mario 64 DS. Updated graphics, more playable characters, and 30 extra stars to find. They also added a multiplayer mode and several minigames. 2006, a brand new Mario game came to the DS with New Super Mario Bros. A trip to classic 2D Mario gameplay with 3D models, and they made it the 2.5D style. And just in case you don't know what 2.5D is, it's when you're making 2D gameplay with 3D models. So it's still a 2D game, but looks better.
Kind of like Donkey Kong Country.
Yep. The second screen was used cleverly, and it was used to show your level progression, collected star coins, and whatever power-up you had banked. And when Mario takes a pipe that would go down, the bottom stat screen would move up, and Mario would drop into the bottom screen. It was so fun.
Yeah, just kind of a, hey, look, that's neat.
Yeah. Also features a bunch of new power-ups. They have the Mega Mushroom, where Mario becomes temporarily gigantic, and he breaks all the blocks and defeats enemies and even snaps off green pipes. He can get a blue Koopa shell, which is like Mario cosplaying as a Koopa, and he can hide in the shell to protect himself. And then there's the Mini Mushroom, which makes him very tiny, and he can enter these little tiny pipes or get into these little tiny areas, and he can even sprint across water.
Oh, neat.
Returning power-ups in this game are the Mushroom, Fire Flower, and Superstar. The game had 8 worlds with 10 levels each. They put a multiplayer mode in where you compete against each other in 5 stages to obtain the most stars. And they even took the minigames from Super Mario 64 DS and put them in, making it a total of 18 single-player minigames and 10 multiplayer minigames.
Wow.
I remember loving this game, and I 100% completed it.
Nice.
So, as if 3D Mario games weren't always completely outstanding, in 2007, Mario was a literal shooting star. Super Mario Galaxy takes the...
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, thank you. Super Mario Galaxy takes the super tight Mario gameplay we've come to expect at this point, and it has even more you can do with the addition of gravity wells. The game has Mario visiting different galaxies rather than worlds, and he's being shot at or jumping from planet to planet. And it has to be known that there's some people that get a little nauseous out of this, even though it was such a good game.
Yeah, I mean, you really whip around on some of these areas.
Oh yeah, I never got sick, so I'm happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this is on a lot of people's list of greatest game of all time. And for a long time, it was my favorite Mario title. It introduced Rosalina, which maybe through some interdimensional wormhole, the daughter of Mario and Peach.
I thought she was just an alien.
Well, there's a whole storybook section you can go to where as you complete the game, you read it, and a lot of it starts looking like the Mushroom Kingdom, and then she gets whisked away.
Interesting.
Yeah. So Mario will find 9 powers on his adventure. There's fire flowers. You can throw fireballs or melt ice objects. There's an ice flower, which you put enemies into blocks of ice or freeze chunks of water. Then there's a rainbow star, which is basically the superstar. They also added a spring shroom, which puts Mario in a giant spring, and he can just bounce really, really high. And he's got awkward controls.
Yeah, it's so weird.
The living Slinky.
You just can't walk anymore.
No, yeah. There's a bee shroom, which makes him a bee, and he can fly short distances and climb on honeycomb. And there's a boo shroom, where he can float around and become invisible to hide from enemies.
Mm-hmm.
This game has a lot of chances of instant death, because in Mario Galaxy you can fall into quicksand, dark matter, bottomless pits, and some places, if you jump out of the gravity well, you can get sucked into a black hole.
Yeah, it's scary.
There is a fun 2-player mode called Co-Star, where player 2 can point a Wiimote at the screen and use the cursor to collect star bits. They can even grab enemies or platforms, or shoot the star bits as projectiles. Nintendo President Satoru Iwata wanted to prioritize the game's fun factor by giving the player a sense of achievement after they completed a difficult task. He also noted an increasing number of consumers giving up during a video game, and that's why they wanted to make the game appeal to that audience. So, in response, the development team created the cooperative mode that allowed the player to control Mario while the other one controlled the pointer.
Makes sense.
Making it a little easier if you need it, and then if someone's just watching you play, they can interact a little.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's more like active audience instead of just like sitting there looking.
Yeah. The development team wanted the game to be enjoyed from ages 5 to 95. So in the early stages of development, they took steps to ensure that the player would adjust to the game without difficulty. However, Miyamoto thought it was too easy and lacked in sensitivity, asserting that the game loses its excitement when it's not challenging. To balance the difficulty, one of the designers, Koizumi, suggested that Mario's health meter should have a maximum capacity of 3 instead of 8, because it was actually 8 slices of health in 64 and Sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, they added more 1-up mushrooms and checkpoints in the game.
Okay, so a greater sense of peril, but less lost when you die.
Yep. Koizumi...
I can get behind that.
Oh, definitely. Retrospectively, Iwata added that decreasing the health meter from 3 to 8 is representative of the things that players do not notice that actually changes the gameplay dramatically.
No kidding.
Because I didn't think about that until I wrote this, and I was like, oh,
yeah.
Damn.
I never thought of that either.
The idea for planets being the base of the gameplay came from a tech demo that they were using to show off the power of the Nintendo GameCube. The game director, Koizumi, wanted spherical platforms to be a distinguishing feature, but he feared it'd be too technically advanced for the console to process. Then, Shigeru Miyamoto wanted to work on the next big Mario game after he completed Donkey Kong Jungle Beat and push the spherical platform concept. It took them 3 months to build a physics engine prototype, and most of the concepts they've been working on were since before the Wii was developed.
Wow.
Mario now has the spinning attack in this game, and it was thought that it would be a GameCube title, and Mario would spin from spinning the thumbstick. But then, when they moved to Wii, the motion sensing of the controllers could be used, so a flick of the wrist was more practical. In 2009, a handheld sequel was made for the console. New Super Mario Bros. Wii is a controversial game for me.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
It was a critical success, and I find it really bad. It felt like all the characters had low friction, and I did not like the helicopter hat they added.
Yeah, it really got into a lot of the console Marios feeling floaty and frictionless and weird and not as tight as their portable counterparts.
Exactly. So we have the same feeling about this.
Yeah, absolutely.
The pace in the game felt really strange. I did appreciate the way they wanted an all-ages experience for up to 4 players. It holds many of the 2D Mario gameplay mechanics, and they added this thing called the Super Guide feature. And it was a new system made by Miyamoto, so during single-player mode, if a player dies 8 times in a row, in any level, a green exclamation block appears, and that allows a computer-controlled Luigi to show the player a safe path to travel. The player can interrupt the guide at any time and take control. After Luigi completes the level, the player has an option to try the level again, or you can just skip it completely.
Fair enough.
The thing is, this Luigi does not reveal any star coin locations or secret exits, which is only fair.
Well, yeah, I mean, if the computer's going to play the game for you, you're not going to get all the secrets.
Definitely. 2010, a sequel to Mario Galaxy with Mario Galaxy 2. It feels like the perfect encore for fans that loved the first Mario Galaxy. I often blend these two games together when I think of Mario Galaxy, so usually when I say Mario Galaxy is my favorite, I mean both of them.
Yeah, I'm not sure I ever played the second one.
So the hub world is changed to a planet of Mario's head that he pilots to new galaxies.
Weird.
Yoshi is added to the game as well as some extra items. There's a spin drill that allows Mario to tunnel through planets. Rock Mario can smash through obstacles, and there's a Cloud Mario that can create temporary platforms. With Yoshi, he can eat enemies, activate levers with his tongue, eat a dash pepper to run up really steep inclines or even across water. He can eat a blimp fruit to float in the air, or eat a bulb berry, which reveals secret pathways. So, they don't bring back the ice or flying Marios.
Huh.
With the most collectible stars and challenges for players, if you're looking for less, they did add the Cosmic Guide mode, which is where Rosalina shows you the safest path to complete the level.
Makes sense.
Instead of just being a pointer, a second player can control the Luma that's on screen and can actually attack enemies and collect items from Mario. In order to distinguish Galaxy 2 from its predecessor, staff originally wanted the whole game to revolve around the concept of switching, in which the game's environment would dramatically change under certain conditions. The concept...
weird.
Yeah. The concept ended up being particularly difficult to implement on a full scale, so it was actually only put on a few of these levels.
Makes sense.
Miyamoto compares Galaxy 2 to The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, in that both games use the same engines as their predecessors, but build on these foundations.
I'm with you there.
Yeah. The game was originally planned to just be variations of the original game's planets and call it Super Galaxy More. And and then it was dubbed Super Mario Galaxy 1.5 during early development. With a projected development time of almost a year, the first elements that were implemented were anything that was scrapped from the original game. Either to ensure the balance or simply because the time constraints, and that's why they have Yoshi and the concept of a planet shaped like Mario's head.
Makes sense.
So as we said in the beginning, Presser to Join is a member of the Alberta Podcast Network powered by ATB. It's a collection of a lot of great Edmonton podcasters.
Yeah, one of the podcasts, Northern Nerdcast, actually just recently celebrated their 100th episode.
Congratulations.
Which is, yeah, it's pretty great because they're not like us where we pad out our numbers with a bunch of extra ones during the week. They actually stick to a human schedule. And yeah, just some really interesting conversations on here with a lot of other people in the network, as well as other interesting people that aren't currently in there. The latest one was talking with Mike and Nick from Future Chat. Before that, Ben Yendall from Tales of the Hydian Way, where they talk about Star Wars role-playing.
Nice.
A little earlier than that, they interviewed me, and that was fun. So it's a great look at the local nerd scene, kind of current events, people that are active in nerdery and geekery around Edmonton, around the province. And it's really a really interesting listen. Definitely worth checking out over at albertapodcastnetwork.com.
Late 2010, Super Mario All-Stars 25th Anniversary Edition.
Ooh.
So, pretty sure it's the Wii. It didn't say. Damn it. So, the game disc contains an emulation of the original SNES ROM image, and it has support for a Wii remote, classic controller, and a GameCube controller.
Nice.
Comes with a 32-page booklet detailing the history of Super Mario, and an audio CD containing music from each Mario game bundled with the disc.
So we could have just read that book on here and called it done.
I really should have. But we'd admit it's 8 years, or technically 7.
Fair enough.
2011, the 3DS got a new Mario title, Super Mario 3D Land. The Super Mario 3D Land and its sequel are unique from the Mario series because they combine elements from both 2D Mario and free-roaming 3D Mario. Shigeru Miyamoto described the game as a 3D Mario that plays like a 2D Mario game.
You got 3D in my 2D.
Yeah, delicious. 3D Land combines the elements of the traditional side-scrolling, and there's still linear levels, but there's a third dimension where you can travel back and forth.
Ooh.
The health system revolves around Mario shrinking upon taking damage, similar to the classic stuff. And they actually added a dash button, as opposed to the analog input to determine travel speed. And damaging small Mario results in losing a life. So it's back to the basics there.
Makes sense.
Mario also learned 2 moves, a barrel roll and a roll jump. The former can be used to break blocks with a manner of jumping at them from below and ground pounding, and the latter allows Mario to cover much horizontal ground in one jump. Super Mario Land 3D utilizes a similar level objective to those games, in which the point of the level is just to grab the goal pole at the end. The game offers a number of traditional Mario items. You got your Super Mushroom, your Fire Flower, and your Starman, as well as new power-ups that give Mario new suits and abilities. Returning from Mario Bros. 3, the Super Leaf power-up gives Mario a Tanuki suit and allows him to float in the air and attack with his tail.
Nice.
And there's a later variant allowing to transform into a statue while performing a ground pound, just like we were talking about earlier. You also have the bottom screen, which stores extra power-ups, and they even added a boomerang flower, which allows you to throw boomerangs that can get out of reach enemies. A propeller box, which allows Mario to reach really high places, and a rare prize box, which gives Mario extra coins while walking around in it.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
The invincibility leaf, which appears after the player dies 5 times in a level, gives Mario invincibility and a Tanuki suit ability, while the P-Wing appears to players after they die 10 times in a level, and sends the player right to the end near the goal pole.
Oh, you don't get to fly around? That'd be awesome.
I have a feeling that when you collect one of those, you can't get a 3-star on your save file. You can only get a 2.
Oh yeah, I'll bet you're right.
Super Mario 3D Land was designed to bridge the gap between 2D Mario games and 3D Mario games. It was influenced by Miyamoto's philosophy of keeping games fun in nature and making sure that the player has the utmost opportunity to enjoy the experience of the game. Sort of like what fun is.
Yeah.
A main concern during development was making a game that would appeal to 2D fans as well as 3D gamers. The levels were designed so that a player wouldn't get lost, moving Mario in one general direction towards each level's goal. And for me, I think it was some of the most fun I had on my 3DS.
Yeah, it was a good one.
2012, when most people were speculating the end of the world, Mario was getting rich in New Super Mario Bros. 2. Like Super Mario Galaxy 2, it features the foundation of the first game and improves on it. There's also a heavy theme on coin collecting. The title screen has a count of all the coins you've collected, and even using the 3DS internet connection to sync up all the collected coins across the world.
Oh, wow.
New additions for the gold theme are these gold flowers that turn blocks into coins. There's rings that temporarily turn enemies to gold, and a block mask that produces coins as Mario runs. Along the returning power-ups from the first game, there's Mini Mushroom and Mega Mushroom, and there's also the return of the Super Leaf. And you can tail whip enemies and fly into the air, just like the classic.
Cool.
Later 2012, something more surprising than the end of the world happened. A fairly boring, by Mario standards, game came out. The new Super Mario Bros. U came out for the Wii U. And it was not a total flop, but it wasn't a success.
It continued the tradition of console Marios being kind of floaty and generally unsatisfying.
Just in 2D, yeah. Up to 5 players could play simultaneously. There was a mode where you could use the gamepad, but instead of controlling a character, you interact with the environment. So you can like put blocks down or stun enemies.
Weird.
And in multiplayer, there must be an equal number of controllers, excluding the gamepad, to the desired number of on-screen characters. Along with returning elements, they have ice flowers and Yoshis. This game adds power-ups such as Flying Squirrel Suit that allows players to glide long distances and slowly descend down vertical paths and cling to the side of walls. Baby Yoshis can be carried by individual players, and each Baby Yoshi has a special ability based on its color, such as inflating midair, blowing bubbles to attack enemies, and even illuminating dark areas.
Weird.
Some older power-ups have new abilities, like the Mini Mushroom now allows players to run up walls.
Oh.
Unlike the previous New Super Mario Bros. Game, which has separate maps for each of the game's world, this game has one large map containing all the worlds and all the levels, sort of like Super Mario World, but Super Mario World had like a few underground sections.
Yeah.
Some levels have multiple exits that lead to different areas on the map. And there's a new antagonist in the game named Nabbit, who appears on some levels, and you have to chase Nabbit to get the power-up he stole from a Toad. And then once you catch him, the Toad rewards the players.
Oh, nice.
Giant Bomb, they're a review site. They have one of the more critical reviews of this game. They say, everything about New Super Mario Bros. U is pretty exciting, except for the game itself. It is possible that this is the best game in the new series to date, not to mention the best exclusive Wii U game on the market by default. And at the time, it was kind of flatly uninteresting. The game is perfectly well made for what it is. I have plenty of fun playing it in short bursts here and there. But at this point in the series, the by-the-numbers design philosophy is starting to lend a new name to New Super Mario Bros., a degree of unintentional irony.
Yeah, I'm definitely with them on that.
Yeah. Not a fan of those.
Mm-hmm.
So, in 2013, Nintendo brings a mobile game to the console again with Super Mario 3D World. It's a bigger version of the Great Mario game, and players can choose from Mario, Peach, Toad, Luigi, how did I forget Luigi? And Rosalina.
You know, that green one, Green Mario.
Yeah, that Ryan kid likes it, that Cerebro. Mario plays very balanced, while Luigi jumps higher and falls slower. Peach has a short float ability, but she runs slower. Toad runs fast, but he can't jump as high, and Rosalina has a spin attack like in Galaxy, but she's the slowest character. Returning items are the Super Leaf, Mega Mushroom, Propeller Box, Boomerang Flower. A bunch of fun items are in the game as well. The new ones are Super Bell. It gives you a cat suit, allowing you to run faster, perform unique attacks, and climb up to reach new areas. There's a variation of the Super Bell called the Lucky Bell, which allows player to temporarily transform the character into a lucky cat statue that awards coins under certain conditions.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I gotta play it again, I guess. There's double cherries, which make a clone of the player, allowing to more effective attacks and a higher chance of survival. And the more double cherries a player uses, the more clones that appear. Cannon boxes, your character can wear these things, and they shoot at enemies. There's light blocks, which you use to defeat ghosts, and there's Goomba masks that let you blend in with Goombas.
Also, another fun fact about this game, it is marriage poison. It pretends to be co-op, but there's also a winning factor to being the best at a level.
Yep.
And it definitely leads to a lot of arguments and hurt feelings.
It's like we both had fun, but I noticed you had the crown the whole time.
Yeah.
Players are able to pick up other objects like bombs, baseballs, piranha plants, and you can use them to defeat enemies or solve puzzles, or ride around in a skating shoe, or even on the aquatic dinosaur named Plessy. So the game mechanics reportedly came up by 100 staff members working on the game. Ideas were written on a post-it note and afterwards evaluated, and if the team liked the idea, they would implement it in-game to see if it worked.
Makes sense.
Kenta Motokura, a director of the game, said, "We discussed and discarded a huge number of ideas during development. Sometimes you can't just tell if an idea is good or bad by looking at it on the drawing board. When this happens, we try it out in game. If we don't find the idea fun, we don't make it for the final project. We don't make it for the final product." There was a lot of back and forth on the course of the design due to this. And actually, the inspiration for Double Cherry came when an error caused a duplicate of Mario's character model to become present in the game. The game didn't crash, and the two identical characters present. The team thought, it'd be amusing if you controlled both of them simultaneously, and then they developed it into a feature in the game.
Yeah, it's not a bug, it's a feature.
So in 2015, on Wii U, and 2016 on the 3DS, everyone got their chance to make a Kaizo Mario with the release of Super Mario Maker.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Super Mario Maker received critical acclaim upon its release, with reviewers praising the game's user interface and coarse editing tools. By May 2016, over 7 million courses had been created by players overwide, and it's been played over 600 million times.
I don't doubt it.
The game is a framework where you make your own 2D Mario level. You even get to choose the area of Mario to be styled after it. Although the gameplay was based on the new Super Mario Bros. System to make everything an even surface, basically.
Yeah, but they still change certain moves or certain power-ups depending on what era of Mario game you choose.
You can't play classic 8-bit Mario and triangle jump.
Yeah.
It has some content made by Nintendo, but the bulk of it is by fans. 2016 on iOS and 2017 on Android, Mario's first time on your phone with Super Mario Run.
That was a weird one.
I haven't deleted it because I paid for it.
Fair enough.
The game features 3 principal game modes. Actually 4 now, I think. But the core game, where the player controls Mario or other characters as they automatically run across the screen, while you time jumps to collect coins and other awards. There's a Toad Rally, where players compete against ghosts of other players, and a Mushroom Kingdom area for players to expand by using coins and other collectibles to sort of design their own Mushroom Kingdom. And I've played recently, and there's this new thing called Remix 10, where you play very short levels and you do 10 in a row, and you have to collect as many of the big golden collectible coins in each level.
Oh, cool.
And once you finish 10 remixed 10s, you get a free rare item or something.
Fancy.
Yeah, it's neat. It's really, that mode is perfect for bursts of I want to play the game.
Yeah, which is basically mobile gaming nowadays.
Yeah. Unless you have one of the ones that's like a job. Where you have to, I don't like those games. So this game was produced by Shigeru Miyamoto and developed primarily by the same team that developed New Super Mario Bros. For the DS. So it had a lot of the same gameplay concepts adapted for ease of mobile controllers. Unlike other mobile games that use a free-to-play approach, Super Mario Run is offered as a free demo with a fixed price point to unlock the rest of the game's remaining content. Hey, and it's really easy if you want to get a hold of us. We have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're at PS2J Show there. And if you want, you can just email us at ps2jshow@gmail.com.
We also have ps2jshow.com, the best place to keep up to date with all the weird and exciting stuff that we're doing. And if you want to help us make more weird and exciting stuff, you can check out our support page, ps2jshow.com/support. You can use our Amazon affiliate link to buy yourself some stuff and tell Amazon that we're cool dudes who deserve a little bit of money. We've got a Ripped coupon code for Ripped Apparel. It is PS2J Show. You get 10% off your purchase of some cool clothes. And we also have our Patreon, where you can stay up to date with all our show notes and our State of the podcast, just like our favorite fan, Dalton.
Yeah, Dalton's an awesome guy. He's on a podcast network called Podzilla 1985. He's on a few shows there, so make sure to check them out. And all music you hear in these episodes, except for the intro diddly, is courtesy of Kevin MacLeod. He makes great music, so make sure to check him out.
Definitely.
And now, finally, the big one, 2017 Super Mario Odyssey.
The one we've all been waiting for. It's all been leading to this.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah.
It's my favorite Mario game since Galaxy. And the game swept top scores of nearly every place it was reviewed. It's the perfection of how Mario controls, just like how he was perfect in Galaxy and Sunshine and 64. And this one, they add Cappy. And Mario can get almost anywhere in this game with skilled jumps and bounces off this hat he has. He can even control enemies and special objects by throwing the hat at them. The weight Mario holds with gamers had this game selling Nintendo Switch consoles as soon as the game was announced.
Yep.
Each location Mario can visit has tons of secrets, puzzles, and there's like sometimes mini games. It shows Nintendo used everything they learned when making these games to make this right. There's awesome throwback sections to 2D where you become a sprite on a wall. And there's also fun mixing and matching outfits. I can't recommend this game enough. It's so good.
It's a really good one.
Odyssey was designed to appeal to Mario's core audience, a departure from the series' recent focus on casual players. Unlike prior games, which send Mario back to the beginning of each level after finding a collectible, Power Moons are designed to be found in continual exploration. With more major collectibles than previous ones in the series, the lack of Power Moons for game progression gave the players a wider liberty to explore at their leisure, rather than advancing the story. A new direction for the series and a design challenge for development staff. The developers wanted to check everything that aroused their attention for secrets. Miyamoto, the series creator, he was not involved on the game's daily decision-making, but he served as a executive producer, with the development team consulting him on the best way to express game concepts.
That makes sense.
Miyamoto, his feedback was specific, offering suggestions, never ultimatums, and he was highly supportive over the whole process.
And there's no other way they could have gotten such a radical departure that is yet still somehow completely true to Mario and embraces everything that he's previously done. It's crazy.
It's For a first in the series, Nintendo character development of Pauline led them to writing a theme song with vocals, which eventually ended up representing the entire game. The swing music inspired Jump Up Superstar was composed by the game's lead composer and performed by Kate Davis, who's also the voice actor for Pauline. In the segment where the song's playing, because everything led up to it in that level, it's just
it felt so good.
The whole thing's like just a love letter to, like, thanks for playing Mario games for 30 years. And it's like, oh my god, yes.
It was beautiful. I was tearing up during the whole thing. It was just such a wonderful culmination of Mario's history.
And do you think it's a good or bad thing that you had that moment in the middle of a game that got better?
Yeah, no kidding. It's such a good, like, here is them embracing their history and going through and just, like, appreciating the fans. And then the game just continues to be awesome. So it doesn't end with that. It ends with wherever you want it to end, because it's a sandbox. It's an open world. You do what you want. And Nintendo gave us this amazing world. It's so cool.
So my recommendation, if you are listening to this and going, well, I'll finally pick up Mario Odyssey, my suggestion is when you first play it, don't try to get every single moon. Beat the story. Then go back.
Honestly, the way I played it is I explored all the time. Like, I wandered around, and if I did story, I did story. If I found secrets, I found secrets. But I just wandered wherever I was having fun, and it was so good. Like, you don't need to follow the plot. You don't need to secret hunt. Just follow your bliss.
Yeah. That is a good way to do it. Basically, play each area till you're bored, and then you generally have enough to move on.
Yeah. Although I will say there is some merit to Josh's suggestion, because in many cases, the worlds change in some way after you beat the boss.
Yeah, so
and it doesn't automatically kick you out. So if you do the story and then chase your bliss, that's the smart way to do it.
Yeah. Because definitely, like, I combed everything and I'd get frustrated because I'm like, there's a thing there and I can't get it, and I'm trying to break the game to get it. And then later, it's like, oh yeah, here's that spoon you earned. And I'm like, oh, and it just feeds me.
Yeah.
So, anything else you want to talk about Mario, Alan?
No, that's a really nice, thorough history. And I'm going to be honest here, I actually teared up a little bit talking about that moment in Odyssey and tearing up, and it's beautiful. I can't recommend it enough.
And thankfully, the game has an option where you can talk to Pauline. She's like, you want to do it again? And you're like, yes.
Yes, please. Oh god, yes.
Yeah. Oh man, it's awesome. I didn't think I liked swing so much until I heard Jump Up Superstar.
Yeah, everyone loves swing. They just don't know it yet.
I guess. Alright, so I'm going to say that about does it for PS2J, and probably not Super Mario. Super Mario is going to live on.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to more. Like, I have no idea how they're going to follow up Odyssey with something else, but it's going to be a hell of a journey getting there.
Maybe it'll be with the Labo.
Maybe. They're just like, well, we peaked. Nothing but mini games from now on out. We're good. Done.
Yeah.
Nintendo out.
That was our swan song. We're selling the company to Sony.
Oh, no. That'd be heartbreaking.
No,
Don't do that.
They made too much money.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, thank you very much for listening.
And thanks for pressing start.